What is going on, people? Today we're going to learn how to make a Windows XP calculator. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here, we're going to go to File, New, and then we're going to create a new project. Click Windows Forms, and I'm going to give my project name XP calculator. Okay, now we're gonna design our UI here. I'm gonna start with an empty button here. So I'm gonna go here to Tools and click Button. I'm gonna name it. It's gonna be empty, and then I'm gonna name it BTN M. This button basically is gonna let us know if we actually stored a number in memory that we want to recall. So I'm just gonna resize it here. Okay, and then I'm simply gonna copy this, paste it, and then I'm gonna create the Backspace button. I'm gonna enlarge it a bit here. Okay, and then I'm gonna name this button BTN Backspace. And then I'm gonna change the text to Backspace. Okay, and then now I'm gonna change the font color to red. So I'm gonna go here to Full Color, and then click here. Let me see if I type red, it will help me. Okay, that worked. Okay, and then now I'm gonna copy this button again, paste it, and I'm gonna name this button BTNCE, which stands for Clear Existing. And then I'm gonna change the text to CE. And then I'm gonna shrink it a bit. Okay, I'm gonna copy this button again. Okay, I'm gonna paste this button, and then I'm gonna name this one C, BTNC, which is gonna clear everything. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to text here, and I'm gonna call this one C, grab it, okay, and then now I'm gonna grab a text box here, and then enlarge it. Okay, and then inside the text I'm just gonna put in 0, and then I wanna align it to the right. So I'm gonna select text align to right. Okay, and then now I'm gonna create the memory buttons on the right. So I'm simply gonna copy this and paste it. Okay, and then I'm gonna resize it here, and then I'm gonna rename this to BTN MC, and then the text is also gonna be MC. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna copy this button again and then paste it. plus. Okay, and then now we're moving on to the numeric buttons here. So now I'm gonna copy this one here, paste it, and then I'm gonna name this to btn1, and I'm gonna change the text to 1. Okay, I'm gonna move it here now. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. Change the text to, actually I need to change this one to 7, so I'm gonna say btn7, and then I'm gonna change also the text to 7. Okay, and then now I'm gonna change the text to 8 here, and then I'm gonna change it, give it a name btn8, and then from here on I'm pretty sure you get the drift, so I'm gonna fast forward this video to save you guys time. I am now done with the numeric buttons. I'm now gonna create another button. I'm gonna call this one btn add symbol, and then it's gonna contain this plus/minus. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a dot here. Okay, I'm just gonna call it a dot. Okay, and then now I'm gonna add my operators. Okay, I'm just gonna decrease these buttons a little bit here. Move them closer. Okay, then decrease this. Okay, I'm gonna click this button. I'm gonna call it btn square root. And then I'm gonna type squared. And then this one will be percentage. Okay. Okay, I think I'm now done with all the buttons here. So I'm just gonna decrease this, make it align with the rest of the buttons here. Okay, and then I'm gonna decrease the size of this window. Okay, I'm gonna select everything here and then move it to the edge a little bit, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna resize this. Okay, now what I need to do here is I'm gonna change the font color of this. Coming. Okay, now I'm gonna change the color of these numeric keys to blue, all of them. So okay, I'm gonna fast forward here. Okay, now I think we are done creating the interface here. Now we need to get to the functional part of the program. Okay, so I'm gonna select my project here and I'm gonna create a new class. I'm gonna call it calc parser. This class will be responsible for doing calculations and all of that stuff. So I'm just gonna click add here, and then I'm gonna create an instance of a text box here, call it TB display. Okay, and then I need to import this text box here. So I'm gonna put my cursor over here and then hold Control and press a dot, and then I'm gonna import Windows Forms here. Okay, and then I'm gonna create a constructor, and then assign my text box here. Okay, this text box will be the one that appears on the calculator. Okay, so every time when an action is performed, that this text box may be affected. Okay, and I'm now gonna create an enum here. So I'm gonna say public enum. This is gonna be display mode. Okay, and then I'm gonna say mode clear or appear. Okay, basically this enum will tell us whether we need to clear our text box or we need to just append a number. Okay, and then I'm gonna create another enum here. I'm gonna call it operator, and it's gonna have the plus, minus, divide, and times. Okay, and now I'm gonna create an instance of these enums. So I'm gonna say private display mode. Initially it's gonna be clear. Okay, and then I also need to put an equal as my operator. Okay, and then now I'm gonna say operator, and then I'm just gonna call it operator, and then initially it's gonna have the equal operator here. Okay, what did I do here? Let me see. Oh, let me give it a different name here. I'm just gonna call it op, because I forgot that operator is a keyword in C# if you spell it with a lowercase. Okay, and then whatever. Okay, and then now I'm gonna create a method here, and I'm gonna call it add digit. Okay, this will either add a digit or clear everything on the screen and replace it with a new digit, depending on the current state we are in. So I'm just gonna make my method here, call it add digit, and then our digit. Okay, now if our display mode is equal to clear, then it means we're just gonna replace what's already visible. Okay, so I'm just gonna say display dot text is equal to an digit. Okay, and then if it's not, then I'm just gonna append this digit. So I'm gonna say display.text plus equal digit. Okay, now if it was in display mode, in clear mode, if the display mode was in the clear mode, then I need to set it, okay, to the new mode, which is gonna be the append. Okay, it's supposed to be append here, not up here. Let me fix this real quick here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to my design form here. I'm just gonna double click one here. Okay, and then I'm gonna create the button here. I'm gonna typecast the sender object because I know that it's gonna be the button that fired this event, so I typecast the sender object into a button, and then what did I call this? Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna rename this to TB display. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back to, I'm gonna double click here to register an event, and then now I'm gonna say TB display. I'm actually gonna say, I actually need to create an instance of the calc parser class. Okay, so I'm just gonna go here. I'm just gonna call it calc parser, and then I'm gonna go back to design mode and double click the form window here. So when the form loads, I'm simply gonna initialize my calc parser. And then as an argument, I will provide the text box here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back to the design and then double click my one again. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna call the calc parser add digit. Okay, there's something that I need to make this method a public method instead of a private one. Okay, and then go back to my form and call the add digit, and then I'm gonna extract the text that is on the button. I'm gonna extract the first character, which is gonna be 1 at this moment. Okay, and then now I'm gonna copy this here, and I'm gonna create another method here, call it try add digit. Okay, paste it here. Okay, and then I'm gonna call try add digit here, and then provide the sender as my object. Okay, so that I'm making it simple here, so that because I'm gonna be registering with the same thing with multiple buttons, so I just created a method here so that I don't keep on making redundant code. Okay, so I'm gonna try to run this program here and see if it's working properly. Okay, so I'm gonna click 1 here. You see it cleared everything, and then 1 again. You see it's working. You see only 1 is working at the moment. Now I need to make sure that I register the rest of the numeric buttons here, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. Okay, now I'm just gonna, let me open this event. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna copy this try add digit. Okay, go back to my design form and then add the rest of the event listeners here. Paste. Now I'm gonna fast forward this because I don't want to bore you with the boilerplate code here. My CPU is going crazy. Let me check what's the problem here. What's happening? Okay guys, now I've added the function for all numeric keys here, so I'm just gonna test these numeric keys whether they're working. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, they're working properly. Now I just want to show you something real quick here. Now as you can see, when I press my zeros, now there's a lot of zeros that are appearing here. So this doesn't make sense so I don't want it to do this. If there's a zero, there's a zero. There can't be a lot of zeros like this. So I'm gonna write some special code regarding the event of that is fired when 0 is pressed. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my calc parser here, and then I go back to my add digit. Okay, I'm gonna add another method here, call it public double, and then get current value. And then now what I'm simply gonna do is I'm gonna convert the text that's inside the text box into a double. So I do that by calling double.pass. Okay, and then as an argument here I pass in the text that's inside our display. Okay, and then now I go back to my add digit here, and then I'm just gonna say double car value is equal to get current value. Okay, and then now if the current value is not equal to 0, only then we will append a digit. Okay, if there's a 0, so I'm gonna go back and start my program again, and then you see we're pressing 0 multiple times and it's not appearing multiple times. But if we type 1, wait, what's going on now? Okay, if the current value is not 0 and the digit is not equal to 0, okay, okay, so if the current value is not 0 and the digit we are pressing is not equal to 0, only then can we append the text. Okay, so I'm gonna try this again. Let me check what's the problem. What am I doing wrong here? Okay, let me do this. If the current value is equal to 0 and the digit is also equal to 0, then we simply just gonna return okay. Okay, it's partially working. Now what we need to do here, we're gonna say else and then we're gonna set the display mode to display mode. Let me do something here. I'm gonna take this code here. I'm just gonna move it here on top. Okay. And then now I'm gonna run this program again. Yeah, it's working properly now. Okay, yeah. Now all the numeric keys are working properly. Now I'm gonna implement the backspace, clear existing, and the clearing here. I'm gonna start with the backspace. Okay. Public void backspace. Okay. We're gonna extract the current display. Now okay, now if there's only one character on the display, we want to just set it to 0. Okay, so I'm just gonna say is equal to 1. Then we're just gonna set the display to 0. Otherwise okay, otherwise we decrease the size of our string. Okay, we do this by assigning a substring here. Okay, and then the 0 is the starting point, and then the end point will be the length of the string minus 1. So we're gonna remove the very last character. Okay, and then now what I'm gonna do, I'm simply gonna set the new text here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back to my form design and double click backspace, and then I'm gonna call calcparser.backspace here. I'm gonna run my program again, type something, and then see it's working. Now if it's the last character, okay, it's working. Now as you can see, when I type here, if for example I use backspace here and then 0 appears, when I type it doesn't replace the 0, it simply appends the 0. So we need to fix that. So I'm gonna go back to my calc parser here, and then where I set it to 0, I'm gonna change the display mode, okay, to clear. And then I'm gonna run it again now and see if it does the same thing. Okay, 111, then okay, there's 0. Let me see if we type again. You see, it replaces the text that was there. Now I'm gonna implement code for these last two, CE and C. CE, I think, means it wants you to clear everything on the screen, but still keep the calculations in memory. But C means that you must reset everything, if I understand properly. So now I'm gonna implement the CE method here. I'm simply gonna call it CE, and then I'm just gonna set the text to 0, and then remember to change the display mode to clear again. Okay, and then now I'm gonna implement the C method. Okay, I'm gonna call the CE method here, and then I'm gonna set the total, the current total. Okay, I forgot to declare the total that you're gonna use here to make calculations, so I'm just gonna declare it here. I'm simply gonna call it total. Okay, okay, and then now what I'm simply gonna do here is set the total to 0, and then I'm gonna set the operator. I called it the op. I'm gonna set it to operator.equal. Okay, so this is gonna reset everything. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my design, double click my CE, and then call calcparser.ce, double click my C, and then call calcparser.c. Okay, I'm now gonna run my program here. Okay, I'm gonna type some random numbers here, and then clear. You see, type some random numbers. It's clearing. Okay, our calculator is now close to being finished now. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna implement code for the dot here. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my calc parser, and I'm simply gonna say put dot. Okay, I'm not gonna say add, because now if there's already a dot, I'm not gonna do anything, because it doesn't make sense to have two dots in a number. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna say if tb display dot text. Okay, if it doesn't contain a dot, okay, if the text in our display doesn't contain a dot, then we're simply gonna add our dot here, plus equal dot. Okay, okay, now I'm going to my form design, double click my dot, and then I'm gonna call calc parser dot put dot, and then I'm gonna run my program again. Okay, I'm gonna type 12 point, and then you see, as you can see, no matter how many times I press the dot, it doesn't do anything because a dot is already in existence. Let me check what is the problem here. Okay, I'm now gonna write code for these memory buttons here. So I'm gonna go to my calc parser, and I'm gonna create another variable here. I'm simply gonna call it mem. Okay, and then I'm gonna have an ms method here, and then I'm simply gonna assign to the current value. And then I'm gonna have the m plus method, and I'm simply gonna add to the current value, and then I have the mr method. I'm gonna have the mr method here, okay. Let me quickly, we'll get back to the mr method. Let me write the mc method quickly. I'm simply gonna set my mem to 0. Okay, okay, the mr method here, I'm simply gonna set the text here to what's stored in memory. Okay, let me check what I called this button here. Okay, btnm. Okay, now I'm gonna double click here, and then the btnm, I'm simply gonna clear the text here, and then call the MC method here, and then mr, I'm simply gonna call the mr method here, the ms, I'm gonna set the memory button here to the letter M, and then I'm gonna call the calcplacer.ms. okay, and then the last memory button here, I'm just gonna double click it as well, and then I'm gonna call btnm.text, and then I'm gonna assign M to it, and then afterwards I call mparser.m plus. Okay, now we are done with this. I'm gonna start this program here. Okay, I'm gonna type 12 here, and I'm gonna add it in memory. Okay, now you can see the letter M appears here to indicate that it was stored in memory. And then I'm gonna clear this again, and then I'm gonna call mr. I'm gonna press the mr button. It should show 12 here. If it doesn't show 12, it means there's a problem. Okay, it's working properly. And now I'm gonna call the MC. Now when I call the MC, it clears it in memory. And then now if I call mr again, this time it shows 0. Okay, and then so I'm gonna add 15 here to mr, clear, and then recall again. 15 was added. Now as you can see, when I call mr, when I type now, okay, now what I need to do is implement code for these operators: divide, plus, minus, and times. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly do that. I'm gonna go back to my calc parser here, and now I'm gonna create the method here. I'm gonna call it calculate. Okay, and then now that's gonna take an operator as an argument here. Okay, now I'm gonna assign now the current operator. I'm gonna change it to the new operator here. Let me spell operator correctly here. Okay, now the current operator, I'm gonna assign it to the new operator here. Okay, and I'm gonna switch the old operator. Okay, if it's a plus, we're simply gonna add. Okay, I'm just gonna create a new variable here. I'm gonna call it curve value. This will convert our currently visible text into a double. So if it's a plus, we're simply gonna add to our total. Minus. We're simply gonna minus. Okay. If it's divide, we're just gonna divide here. And then the last one is what is times. Okay, if we times, we're gonna times our total with the current value. Break. Okay, I'm gonna go here on top now. If it's not an arithmetic operator here, so I'm just gonna call default here. I'm simply gonna return. I'm gonna assign the total here to the current value, and then I'm simply gonna return. Okay, and then I'm gonna go here at the bottom of this method, and I'm gonna type tbDisplay.text. Okay, I set it to our total. Okay, now let me check if everything is okay here. I'm gonna go to my design here, and I'm gonna call my methods here, call calculate, I'm gonna say calc parser dot operator dot divide, and then I'm gonna copy this code here. For the plus code, I do the same thing, and then I change this to plus. Go to minus, paste my code, and then the last one is times. Okay, now I'm gonna run my program here to see if everything is okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna say 3 plus 3. Okay, there's something that I forgot to do here. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my calc parser here, and then I'm gonna set the display mode to clear. Okay, okay, and then now I'm gonna run my program again here. I'm gonna say 6 plus 3 plus 4 plus 11. Okay, it's working properly now. I'm gonna check the others. Let me check the others real quick. Okay, 6 times 2 plus, okay, now 9 divided by 2 plus, it's working properly, and then 5 minus 3, okay, it's working properly now. Now I need to implement code for this here. This is pretty simple, you will see right now. So I'm just gonna go to my calc parser here, and I'm gonna say add symbol. Okay, now if it doesn't if the text in our field doesn't start with a minus, okay, we're simply gonna add that prepend that minus. So I'm gonna say minus and then plus tb display dot text, okay, and then otherwise I do this tb dot display dot text and then substring, and then I simply move to the second character, which will be index number 1. So it's gonna start extracting characters starting from the second character, okay, which is the index 1 here, because remember the index will start at 0 and 4th, okay. So I'm gonna go to my design, and then I'm gonna double click here, then I'm gonna call calc parser dot add symbol, okay. Okay, now as you can see, even if it's 0, it's adding. We need to fix that. Let me type something. You see, now it's adding it. Now we need to modify the code a bit so that it doesn't add a symbol if there's a 0 there, okay. So that's gonna be simple to do. I'm simply gonna say if get current value, okay, is equal to 0, then we just return. That's all we need to do here. You see, it's not working anymore if there's a 0. Now if I type 12, as you can see, the symbol is being added and removed respectively, okay. Now I'm done with this. I need to write code for the square root function, okay. I'm gonna start with 1 over x because that's the most easiest. I'm gonna go to my calc parser and void 1 over x, and then I'm gonna say double result is equal to 1 divided by get current value, and then I'm simply gonna set the text here to the result, and then I set the display mode to clear. Okay, and then now I'm gonna double click it 1 over x. Let us see. I'm gonna type 6 1 over x. Okay, let me compare the result to the Windows calculator here. Okay, it is the same here. So we are done with this code. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna write code for the square root function here. I'm gonna go to my calc parser here. Okay, I need to close my window here. Okay, and then now I'm gonna say double result is equal to math dot square root, and then get current value. Okay, and then now I'm gonna show my display here. Result. Okay, I'm gonna go to my design here and double click square root here. Okay, I'm gonna run this code now, see what happened. I'm gonna type 12 and then square root. Let me compare the results here. 12 square root. No, this is power. Okay, 6. Here's the square root here. Okay, yeah, that is the square root. Yeah, it's working properly. Okay, now what am I left with now? Okay, I remember I didn't put code for the equal sign here, so I'm simply gonna say calculate here. Okay, I'm simply gonna do this here and then put the equal sign. That's all I'm gonna do here, and then I must remember to set okay, I'm done with the equal code. 1 upon x square root. The only thing I'm left with is the percentage sign here, which honestly I'm not sure how it's calculated. Let me try to find out here. Okay, I think all it does is it just divides the current number by 100 if you actually multiply. So I'm just gonna do that here. Okay, let me write the code here. Good. I'm gonna call it perk, short for percentage. Okay, if the current operator is a times then divided by 100, okay, then the result is the get current value divided by 100, and then we're simply gonna display that here. And then remember to set the display mode to clear. Okay, and then now I'm gonna double click here, perk. Okay, I'm gonna say 6 times, and then okay, it's working properly. Let me compare it with the Windows calculator here. 6 times percentage. Yeah, it's working properly. Okay guys, I am done with the calculator. Now the last thing I need to do is just to change the form 1 here to calculator, which is something I should have started with actually. I'm simply gonna click my form here and then change the text to calculator. Okay, I'm not gonna run this program again, you get the drift. Thank you very much guys for watching. Please like or subscribe if you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want more of these sort of tutorials. Thank you very much.